Hi, my name is Jennifer March, and today I'm going to be paying tribute to Andy Griffith. Perhaps you recognize this picture, or even more so, the theme song from The Andy Griffith Show. It's kind of a nostalgic memory that most of us have, and for those that haven't, well, it's too bad, because Andy Griffith was an American icon. He was an American icon of strong Christian faith and of old-fashioned American values that taught us through his role of Sheriff Andy Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show that you should treat others as you want to be treated. Violence doesn't solve any problem, and everyone needs to take care of each other, whether family or stranger. Now, Andy Griffith taught us how to treat others as you want to be treated in several of his episodes, but mainly so in the two that I can remember offhand. Well, a stranger came from town. He came from New York City, and nobody knew who he was. All the town people were against him, and they thought it strange that this man from New York City knew everything about them, but they knew nothing about him. So he went to Andy one day and said he needed help because nobody liked him. And Andy Griffith, even though he didn't even know who this guy was, he stuck his head out for him and got the whole town to turn around their opinion about this man, so that everybody should treat each other like brothers. There was also the episode called Foreclosure, where a family was about to be put out on the street, and the banker really didn't care. He had no heart. But Andy ended up talking to him and convinced him that the family should have a place, and it would be the wrong thing to do to throw them out. How many people do you know today that would actually stick out their necks for their family? Most of the time we would just say, oh, that's too bad, or, we really can't help them. We have our own problems. And the family would be turned out with nothing. But Andy didn't do that. He also said that violence didn't solve anything. Well, this is really important during the 60s. The show aired from 1960 to 1968. And if you recall, during that time, it was a huge time of civil unrest in the United States. You had President Kennedy being assassinated, Robert Kennedy was assassinated, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. We had the civil rights movement. You had the hippies started to come out. Everybody was against the government. It was just a huge mess in the United States. But the Andy Griffith Show was like this utopia where people could go where you were like stuck in the 30s or the 40s. And there was the values there that everybody wanted, but we were all running from at the time. It's kind of funny that he never carried a gun, and he never had to. He always used words to get everything he wanted to across. Even when things got dangerous, he never did. And the one time he did have to use a gun, the man came back and thanked him for turning his life around. Also, everyone took care of each other. Family, neighbor, and friend meant something. It's really hard to find that these days, even in small towns. When I first moved to a small town, I was really shocked at how everyone came up and wanted to say hi and introduce me as their neighbor. I didn't really know what to do. Imagine if somebody had done that to you too. Well, Andy Griffith did that to everybody. He excluded nobody. Well, one of the funny episodes that I think shows that family really does mean something was Aunt Bee one time was making pickles, and her pickles are absolutely atrocious. According to Barney, Andy's friend, they tasted like arsenic. So just to make her feel better, they went and they traded off her pickles with Cora's pickles. And when they did that, they were eating the pickles in front of Aunt Bee like they were the most delicious thing in the world, even though they couldn't stand her pickles. So of course, the retribution does come back. They ended up getting her arsenic pickles for, quite some time afterwards. But that's not really what matters. What matters is that they did this to make Aunt Bee feel like she was needed and that she was important. Now, during a time of social unrest, the Andy Griffith Show's humor is very outdated, that I will admit. And especially all the jokes that Andy plays on gullible Barney. The cast is most certainly not diverse, as the town represents an all-white country small town community. The storylines are quite simplistic, especially when you compare them to today's typical family sitcom, where God knows what goes on in the family, and there's totally a million different branches. And generally, all of the episodes did one thing, and that's to teach us a lesson. What makes the character of Andy Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show stand the test of time is its focus on kindness to others and the importance of community in America. Andy Griffith not only taught us and lived the values that he played on TV, but he lived them in his personal life. In conclusion, Andy Griffith was an icon of traditional American values, of duty, integrity, kindness to others, love of community, and hard work that will be sorely missed. His strong Christian faith carried him through his life and made him the man that he became. Even Andy knew that all good things must come to an end. And as he said one last time, it's time for me to pass this on to you folks. Thank you.